Hi, everyone. So I wanted to say thank you very much to my one subscriber. You really made my day, and it means a lot. So thank you. And if anybody else wants to head over, I posted a picture of myself. I'm wearing a leprechaun hat, but it's me, just in case you wanted to see. And to entice you over. So I swear, some things just don't change. If you've been following along, then you might remember me talking about Janice and Nadine. Janice is early 70s. Nadine is late 50s. They're sisters. Janice lives next door to us. Nadine lives down the street. At the end of the street, at the corner. My mouth is a little bit dry, so I'm trying to talk away from the phone. So sorry for however this sounds, but I don't want to be gross in your ear. Really sorry. But anyways, so I don't know if anybody else does this. But with Janice and Nadine, we exchanged Christmas presents every year. In the first few years Alicia and I lived here, 1 year we did it on Christmas Eve. 1 year it was Christmas Day. And then the last several years it's been March. I just don't like doing it. I like them, but I don't like doing the socializing. I don't like it. So anyways, this was earlier than it usually is because we did it yesterday. We exchanged our Christmas presents that we got them. I know it sounds weird because we live right next door, but we were supposed to do it a couple of weeks ago, and then one of them got COVID. And then the other one I think got it too, or sick or something. So we actually were going to do it earlier, but anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I like the way that we do it because typically we don't have to go over and open presents with each other because it seems ridiculous. It's March and you're going over to your neighbor's house in March opening Christmas presents from 3 months ago. So what we usually do is either us or them will drop ours off at the other's house, and then we open them ourselves and just text a thank you. And I prefer it that way. And plus I've never really, I don't like opening presents from, I don't mind opening stuff in front of Alicia, but I don't know what I'm getting from somebody I don't see on a regular basis. So it's I want to make sure I have not a bad reaction. I don't want to hurt their feelings. But anyways, so Alicia tells me about this the other night. She's I just got done texting Janice, and Janice said that they're going to go shopping tomorrow. They have to get some stuff, but they'd like us to come over in the evening so we can do the Christmas presents. And my mood immediately changed. You guys know how that is. I was in such a good mood. I was keeping busy. I was listening to music. I was feeling productive and motivated. And then Alicia comes in and she's got that look on her face. And I don't know why, but I knew it was a look that said that we're going to have to go over. But at least I had a day to prepare for it. This, I had to prepare for it because I don't know how long we're going to be over there for. And plus, it's just socializing, which is not my forte. So, yeah. So my good mood kind of went away, and then I was just man, I hate socializing. Why do I have to do this? And then I was thinking, why am I having thoughts about why am I complaining to myself about this? They're our friends. Technically, they're family. Yet every time it comes to spending time with them, I don't want to do it. And that's why I think my mom is autistic, because she would do the same thing. She would invite people over, and then the day would come where they would come over and she would just be a bitch, and she would be I wish I didn't do this. I wish I didn't invite them over. Just I don't know, last minute whatevers. I don't even know what I was just saying. Sorry. oh, fuck. I don't know where that was going. I'm just going to have to get used to this, or not used to, you're going to have to get used to this. You're probably already used to this. Anyways, I got to move right along. So, we went over around 5 o'clock yesterday, sometime around then, and it wasn't bad. Like, it's never bad when I get there. I do find when I get there, until about, I don't know, half an hour or so goes by, and all the presents have been opened, and all the thank yous have been said, and we've been catching up, and then, like, I never ever know when to leave. Like, I often feel like I often feel like other people, I don't know how to, like, say this properly. Like, if I'm over there, I just get this feeling, and it's probably not the right feeling, that, it's about time to go, and the other person kind of wants us to go, but, like, they're not doing anything, they're not indicating anything with, like, their facial expressions, their body language, they're not saying anything, they're not being rude. I get this sense, like, oh, like, maybe they want us to go, and I can never tell if that's a real thing I'm picking up on, or if it's just, like, my anxiety. Does anybody know what this is, or do you know what I'm talking about? It's the weirdest thing. And then, so I sit there and I try to come up with, like, okay, how can we leave? Because I told Alicia, I was like, I'll get the ball going, but you have to put it in the hoop, because, like, when you try to leave a place, you get up and you get ready to go, and then they rope you into, like, 10 more minutes of conversation. And then it's like you have to remind them that you wanted to leave. So that's what we did. But it's not fun sitting there trying to think of, like, how can I leave? Is this a good time to leave? Is, like, 40, 45 minutes, like, too short to be over here? Like, whenever we go over there, they always offer, do you want something to drink? Do you want a beer? Do you want a glass of wine? And we always say no. Alicia just says no. Like, she just is not a beverage person. Well, that sounded weird. She just usually doesn't drink beverages at other people's houses. And I say no because, like, I feel like a drink is going to keep me there longer. Like, even if I have, like, a glass of water or something, like, it's gonna keep me there like 2 minutes longer than I want to be. So, like, I would rather just not have that drink, because then I have to, like, go to the sink. I don't know, it's this whole thing. I always say no to drinks unless the plan is to drink. Now, where am I? So yeah, we get through that, we end up leaving, no big deal. And it's like this whole thing in my head that took over 24 hours to finally finish. From the time that Alicia told me we were going to have to go till the time that we left, it was like anxiety. And I don't know what to do about this. So there's that. We all know what that situation is like. We've all been there and done that. So today, oh, wait, no, let me back up. Sorry, I knew I was missing something. While we were there yesterday, Janice mentioned that she was interested in trying edibles, and I offered to bring some over, and she was receptive to that. So I told her that, like, today, I would bring them over. And then, so today, I put a goodie bag together. And so this is the thing. I was so excited to put this bag together, because, like, I have, like, a fucking pharmacy of different things. And so I had little baggies. I was putting the gummies in. I was writing down, like, where I got them, what's in them, what's the milligrams, what's the recommended dosage to start off with. And there was several different kinds of stuff for her to try, and they each had their own little baggies. I just enjoyed doing that. I don't know why. It's so weird. It's just, I'm giving my drugs away, but whatever. It was fun to do. And I was so excited to go over there. And I texted her. I was like, are you ready for your goodie bag? And I just went right over there and we sat on the couch and I pulled everything out and I just explained, this one does this one does that. You know, if you take the whole one of this, you're probably going to die. So don't, I'm just kidding. I mean, she's in her early 70s and there's some potent stuff. So I was just like, you need to be careful. But, you know, to me, it's pretty cool that somebody in their 70s wants to do some edibles. That's kind of fun. Like, I hope she likes them and then we can do edibles together, because I would love to see Janice high. But isn't that so strange? Like, I didn't have to think twice about this. Like, I actually was going to leave last night to come next door, to come here to get the stuff. And she's like, oh, no, do it like, you know, another time, like tomorrow or another day. And so that first scenario, not fun, didn't want to do it. And then the second scenario, it's about something that I'm familiar with and I like talking about, and I had no problem going over there. And, you know, it's just so strange to be autistic sometimes. And so I would like you to stop listening to this if you don't want to hear anything immature. Well, I don't know. I think I'm usually immature, but like, for real, you should probably just click this off, because I have a couple of things I wanted to say, and, you know, they're not really that mature, and I really kind of don't care, but I don't want to, you know, put anybody off. So I've talked on here about how, like, I'm very sensitive to, like, smells and, like, temperature changes, and my typical reaction to these things is I get nauseous and then I want to barf, and this has been a lifelong thing. So yesterday, I don't know why I'm sharing this. I'm sharing it. So maybe if you're having, I don't know, bad day or something, maybe this will make you laugh. I don't know. So was this yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So I'm sitting in her room. We were playing a card game, and when we got done with the game, she farted. And it smelled, I was like, what the fuck? So, you know, I was leaving anyway, so I got up and I went into the kitchen because I was going to make some tea, and she was following me, and she's like, can I have a hug? And she was, you know, and I was like, yeah, sure. And so I give her a hug, and as soon as my face crosses the shoulder, and now, like, if I look down, I can see her ass, like, it was just like a wall of fart smell. It just came over me because it was a fresh fucking fart. She literally farted and then, like, followed me, and then I hugged her, and it was still, like, there. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started dry heaving. I was like, oh. She's like, what's the fuck? What's going on? I was like, you stink. Oh. And then I could feel that, like, I was actually going to throw up. So I ran to the sink and I threw some chunks in there. I felt so bad because she was walking away. She went back to her room and opened up the front door to let some air in. And then she's like, what the fuck kind of a reaction is that? And I was like, are you serious? Like, that was disgusting. And she's like, it was just lingering. And when I had come back into her room, it still smelled like fart. I was like, no, this is what lingering is, because it's still in here. It originated here. What happened in the kitchen was not lingering. It was just, like, gassing me. And I just threw up. I don't know. I have, like, no control over these things sometimes. And, you know, it's like all I have to do is smell it one time. It doesn't matter if I hold my breath or what. Like, I will still barf. I only need to smell it once, and it's just in me. And it's so gross. And, I mean, it's funny now, but it kind of, I felt kind of bad for her. I was like, you know, you're not gross. Don't worry. I just didn't want to smell that. And then, you know, it was reminding me of other times, like, I've randomly barfed. I may have talked about some of these before. Like, we went to the first year that we moved here. It was New Year's Eve, and we went to this club called Rain Lounge. It was a gay club, and they were doing a drag show. And Oh my God, like I hadn't been to a club in years. Alicia and I had never gone and, done anything like that. So we went, and then I drank. I didn't think I drank a lot. I usually like, if I do, which I don't anymore, but like when I used to go out to clubs when that was a thing, I would get a double, what was it, a Diet Coke and a double Malibu, like a cheerleader drink. And so we were at the Rain Lounge, and like, it's getting closer to midnight and it is so loud in there. And so like when I'm ordering my drinks, the bartender keeps putting pineapple in there instead of the coconut. So it's like Diet Coke and pineapple. And, the first time it was like, ooh, this is exotic. What an interesting mix. And then the second time, And then basically like I was getting woozy. And we ran in the new year, and then Alicia's driving us home. She doesn't drink. She's driving us home, and I was like, oh my God. And it's like 2 a.m. or something. And I was like, Alicia, like, you have to pull over. And she's like, there's nowhere to pull over. We can't just pull over here, like, on the. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. And she's like, I can't pull over. So I rolled the window down, and I just kind of barfed out the window, and I watched it, like, trail away. It was the weirdest thing. And, a lot of it got on the side of her car. It was gross. I felt so bad for her. And like some got in her car, like in her cup holders. Like it just smelled like pineapple. And I didn't touch pineapple for a good 5 years after that. Like no pineapple to eat, no pineapple drinks, nothing. But like she was such a good wife that she cleaned her car the next day. She took it to the thing. She cleaned it out. She didn't make me do it. And I was expecting to do it, but so that was, it was a fun time. And then, I might have mentioned this before. This is kind of like, I don't know. I'm just going to say it because I'm just going to say it and you can think what you want. The very first time I performed a blowjob, I threw up on the guy's dick. And that was the first and last blowjob I ever attempted. And so like before I got married to a woman and I was having sex with dudes, the way I would like go about it is like in my 20s, we would go out to clubs and stuff with friends. And then I was always down with like a one night stand, like a hookup or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they're calling it these days, but because there's no like foreplay involved or anything like that. It's just like, boom, boom, you're done. Like that's the whole point of them. And because I wasn't like into serious relationships or anything like that. And I definitely stuck to that plan after I threw up on that. It was so embarrassing. Oh my God. I ran. I just ran. It was not a good scene. And I just grabbed what I could and I ran. And it was in the dorms, and the dorms opened up to the outside. So it was not like the inside. So I had to, I don't know what time of night it was. I was like fucking naked with whatever shit that I was able to grab real quick. I had like barf dribbling down my face and like my tit. It was just like so unattractive. And I found this like dark corner. And it was cold, and I'm like trying to figure out what clothes did I bring with me? Did I have enough to make it to my dorm room and, not naked? Like, it was not a good night. I was so stupid in my 20s. So yeah, but like, when you're doing a blowjob, like I had to breathe through my nose. No, thank you. That was not good. And then another time, this was when Alicia and I were living in the dump. I've talked about that place before. This is when we didn't know each other that well, and she didn't know I was like sensitive to like smells and stuff. And so we were being stupid, and she's like, I'm going to buttercup you. And I didn't know what a buttercup was. And so she told me what it was. And then she proceeded to like do it. I thought she was really doing it, and I fell backward onto the couch, and she just had her hand, she's like putting it in my face, and I'm like, and I like could swear that I could smell butt or something. And she's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't even touch it. I didn't fart, nothing. And it was just the thought that, like, she farted on her hand and that was coming to my face. I know that sounds stupid, but it was like, that's burned into my mind. I don't know why. So we call it buttercup your butt face whenever we remember that fun little time. There was another time, this was also in my 20s, when it was my first deployment. I did two. This was the first one, and I was going to the desert. So we went from England to Germany, and there were a few people that I was sitting with on the plane that were a good time, and so, like, we drank and stuff, and I was new to drinking. This was like around the time, like, I got deployed within 1 year of leaving home. I was 19 years old, and like in England, like over in Europe, the legal age to drink was like 16. So like, I remember drinking on the plane, and then I had all this vodka, and we were like 10 minutes out. All of a sudden, because I have an aisle seat, I just threw up. This had nothing to do with the smell. This is just booze. I threw up in the aisle, and like, there's just throw up rolling, just kind of dribbling down toward the back of the plane. I just kept, like, I swear it was like 2 minutes. All the vodka was coming out of me. And I am so glad I did not get written up, because you don't do that shit in the fucking military. Like, it's all military on that plane. And, thank goodness I didn't get in trouble. I don't remember much after that. But yeah, so that was that. And then I didn't learn from that, because the very next night we were at the hotel restaurant in Germany. And they were, there's alcohol, and I had just left home. I was a sheltered child, and I wanted to do all the things. And do you think I stopped and thought about what alcohol would, I didn't think like, oh, if I drink too much, I could get sick. Like, God, I was just so sheltered. Like, I lived overseas in Japan. There was like so much that like I just didn't know. And so I started getting like, oh my God, I feel sick. And this one girl, her name was Jackie, she's like, oh God, not again, seriously? And then she said something to the other guy, like, I know we shouldn't have hung out with this kid or something, because I think they were like in their 30s or something. And so she's like, come on. And she walks me back to my room in the hotel, and like, I get like 2 doors down from mine, and I just throw up all over the floor. It's everywhere. The walls, the floor. I remember a vase was covered in my barf, because I drank too much at dinner. So it wasn't just the liquid, it was all of the things I ate coming up to. That was not a good time. Also, I didn't get in trouble for that, so I don't know why. Luck was on my side. Yeah, so like, I have plenty of stories about barfing. That's not really something to brag about, but I don't know, I just felt like sharing that. And yeah. Okay, well, I just, to be serious though, maybe I shouldn't say this after I just said all of that, but if there's anybody that didn't click off and you're still listening, I really appreciate that you listen to this podcast. I can't even talk. I have anxiety every time I do it. I always wonder, like, do I sound like a dumbass? But like, I'm not beating myself up too much about like how I think I come off on this. I don't know. I have anxiety, but I think it's important that like more people on the spectrum do podcasts, because our voices need to just be out there. People need to listen to us. People need to be able to relate. I remember when I went, like, the first few months after finding out that I'm autistic, I listened to so many podcasts, like several podcasts. I binged them from other autistic adults. And then I went to go, like, it was maybe after the 5th one, I was like, well, where's more? Because like all of the ones that I was finding was for parents of autistic children. and there wasn't really a whole lot for like autistic adults. Like I really had to search for podcasts by autistic people. So I don't know. I just think, maybe do something if you feel like you can and get the word out so that people can just treat us like humans, because that's what we are. But I wanted to say thank you for listening and for the emails when you answer my questions, and for like topic suggestions, and it just really means a lot. Especially like, you go most of your life and you feel like the majority of people you encounter don't want to hear anything you have to say. And then you realize that there actually are people out there that do want to maybe hear what you have to say or whatever. So that's kind of a weird feeling, but thank you. And goodbye.